Welcome back. Now going to market reports, local and international business news for today. The total global air cargo ton kilometers increased by 13.6% compared to the same period in 2023, the International Air Transport Association has said. African Airlines saw 6.2% year-on-year demand growth for air cargo in July, the lowest of all regions and its lowest recorded figure in 2024. This was contained in a recent statement by IATA. IATA noted that this was the 8th consecutive month of double-digit growth, with overall levels reaching heights not seen since of 2021. The global regulator hinted that capacity measured in available cargo ton kilometers increased by 8.3% compared to July 2023, when it stood at 10.1% for international operations. IATA said that this was largely related to the growth in international belly capacity, which rose 12.8% on the strength of passenger markets and balancing the 6.9% growth of international freighter capacity. It noted that the increase in belly capacity was the lowest in 14 months, whereas the growth in freighter capacity was the highest since an exceptional jump was recorded in January. Commenting on the development, IATA's Director General Willie Walsh explained that air cargo demand hit record high year-to-date in July, with strong growth across all regions. The air cargo business, he emphasized, continued to benefit from growth in global trade, becoming booming e-commerce and capacity constraints on maritime shipping. Acting Director General of NTAA, Chris Najumo, emphasized the importance of cabin safety and the need for training and professionalism in the overall air safety sector at the authority's annual cabin safety workshop recently in Lagos. At the workshop titled Culture, Attitude and Cabin Safety, which had in attendance airline operators and other industry stakeholders, the NTAA boss noted that every flight crew must adopt skills in teamwork and effective communication, among others, as a means to promote safety. According to the Lagos Regional Manager Bukola Tariba, who was representing Najumo, safety is continuous and the industry is highly regulated. He stressed the need for training and retraining to maintain the International Civil Aviation Organization standard. Najumo added that the NCAA would ensure the airspace was safe, adding that the importance of the cabin crew was not just to serve meals but also to prevent incidents on board and to give the occupants of the aircraft the confidence that they were safe. The NCAA's head of cabin safety inspection, Mrs. Maria Omo-Odo, on her part indicated that cabin crew or cabin safety professionals should rise above culture and attitude and be professional. According to the Director of Aviation Security Services at the Federal Airports Authority Nigeria, between 20 and 30 persons violate airport rules by intruding on the airport space through its perimeter fences daily. The AVSCE boss, a retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Afebai Ibafe, stated that these have patrols. He made this known during a recent interview with journalists at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The security experts complained that the perimeter fences of the airport had been destroyed by neighboring communities. Also, the Director of Special Duties at FAN, Henry Ababire, said the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, and the Managing Director of FAN, Olubunmi Kuku, have been making efforts to revamp the airport infrastructure. He noted that aside from ensuring the security of the airport infrastructure, FAN was prioritizing a more comfortable toilet system. FAN administration had zero tolerance for touting or any form of extortion at the airport. He revealed that the aviation minister has been ardent about building more toilets in the airport. Nigeria's Social Insurance Trust Fund has stated its commitment to increasing the enrollment of employees across all sectors in its employees' compensation scheme. The agency also reviewed the proportion of funds allocated for worker beneficiaries. This was disclosed by the Executive Director of Operations at the NSITF, Mrs. Majosoluwa Ali Macaulay, during her working visit to the FCT and branches of the agency in Abuja. According to a statement by the General Manager of Corporate Affairs at NSITF, Wachuku Godson, the new executive management aims to realign the agency with President Bola Tinubu's directives. According to Ali Macaulay, the NSITF is an agency dedicated primarily and managing contributions from both public and private employers. She added that the organization, despite the core mandate, had made the welfare of its staff in the 57 branches and 12 regions nationwide its top priority. Taiwo Shitu, Managing Director of Lare Shitu Motors, had called upon President Bola Tinubu to support indigenous auto assembling companies compressed natural campaign. A statement from the firm on Tuesday stated this in to state legislators' readiness to flood the market with full CNG buses. After fuel subsidy removal in May 2023, the President launched the Presidential CNG Initiative in October 2023 as a vehicle to deliver cheaper, safer, and more climate-friendly automobiles. This was to create an alternative to the premium motor spirit. The President said use nations would reduce costs, enhance productivity, and save Nigeria trillions of naira spent on petrol and diesel importation. Fundings, grants, and tax incentives. He expressed the full support of the local assembler for the federal government's CNG initiative, saying this is the only way to save the country now. According to Shitu, the firm will soon roll out new mass transit that are 100% CNG and assembled in Nigeria. He listed the local content components of the LSM branded vehicles, put at 20% as glass, seats, fabrication, and tube. He added that with 47 years of experience already in the business, they have parts available worth over 2 billion naira to support the initiative and are therefore asking for the support of the government. Deputy Managing Director Lukman Shitu remarked, "We support the whole green energy initiative from fossil fuels and make environment." About 70%, he said, would be saved on with CNG being sold at 200 naira, 230 naira per kg, while diesel was sold from 1,200 to 1,400 naira per litre, depending on the state. Lukman disclosed that mobile CNG filling stations to different locations across the country. Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative distributed 20 buses powered by compressed natural gas in Lagos. The buses were received by the Oniru of Iru Oba Abdulwaisu Omobalahan on behalf of Iru Land Transport Company Limited on Tuesday. Speaking, the director of PCNGI, Oluwabemi Michael, said President Bola Tinubu's administration is ready to ensure there are enough CNG buses in the country to reduce reliance on petrol and diesel. Oluwabemi disclosed that the federal government is putting efforts in top gear to ensure the availability of enough CNG filling stations across the country. He revealed that the buses being handed over were for the use of the people. However, he emphasized that the beneficiaries of the buses would pay the cost over time and that the money would be used to get more buses for others. Oluwabemi stressed that more cities would benefit from the CNG bus program, stating that 531 buses will be made available to commercial drivers in the first phase. The Oniru appreciated Tinubu and the federal government for considering his kingdom in the initiative. He assured the government of the people's support, saying that the initiative would boost the economy of the Iru land, especially in job creation. Billionaire businessman Femi Otedola has said the commencement of petroleum production by the refinery in Lagos has released Nigeria from the clutches of foreign powers and local oil cabals. Otedola said this on Tuesday on his X handle while congratulating Aliko Dangote on the milestone. On Tuesday, the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, during a press conference, announced the official production of petrol at the 650,000 barrels facility, boasting that the quality of Dangote refinery's premium motor spirit will match that of the States and other parts of the world. Otedelo also became an sitting up the Blue Star Consortium to acquire stakes in the Kaduna and Port Harcourt refineries, adding 20% for me and 51% for you. We were ready to change the game, but fate had other plans. The business plan also warned depot owners, saying that a similar fate befell cement, that one who brought cement into the country ended up useless. Meanwhile, Dangote has hailed President Bola Tinubu for creating the Naira for Crude initiative for local refineries. He added that it would become possible to track loaded trucks, hence making it easier to compute the national consumption. Following the earlier directive of Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to its substations across the country to increase price of 617 naira to 897.
All we are banking on is promises, and people are living in abject poverty. You understand? People are suffering. Everybody is suffering. Even the rich man in Aso Rock, nobody can actually buy fuel. If you have 10 domestic staff, they have reduced it to 5 domestic staff because things are expensive for everybody. You understand? So there are cabals. Nobody needs to tell us there are cabals everywhere.
Some also decried the increase in fuel price as a sad situation, saying the price of commodities will begin to soar high in the coming days.
So I'm talking about the food going to the market. Every price of food now increase in the market. It's not easy with Nigerians. So I'm appealing to the federal government to inside this thing, and if possible, they can just return the fuel subsidies. Honestly, to help Nigerians and return the fuel subsidy. It's not easy for Nigerians now, honestly, because Nigeria is very hard, and we are praying that the Almighty God touch our leaders, touch them their heart to help us in this country, because we can't all put blame for our leadership, because it's not easy, but we should keep praying for them, especially our president Alhaji Ahmed Tinubu, so that may God touch his heart to decrease this fuel price for us. The fuel, because the fuel is not well circulated. It's not well circulated. That is why. And if fuel that is not well circulated, meaning there's fuel scarcity, because the fuel is not well circulated. That's why we are observing the fuel scarcity. We are expecting more crude oil to produce, so that they can be able to refine for us, so that fuel can be able to circulate.
ATN News, Abuja.
Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says President Bola Tinubu's Naira for Crude policy will slash the demand for foreign exchange by 40%. Dangote disclosed this at a press conference where he declared the commencement of the production of petrol at the Lagos-based 650,000 barrels per day facility. This is coming after the federal government said indigenous refineries could buy crude in naira or dollars, while the total crude oil and condensate reserves in Nigeria increased to 37.5 billion barrels as of January 1st, with a life index of 68.01. Federal government, through the Department Management Office, the Debt Management Office, has declared an offer for 2 federal government of Nigeria savings bond at 17.2 and 18.2% interest rates per annum. The DMO disclosed these in a statement in Abuja that the FGN savings bond offer is tailored and targeted to retail investors with guaranteed quarterly interest payment and repayment of the principal at maturity. DMO said the offers, which opened on September 2nd, were closed by September 6th at 1,000 naira per unit, while the settlement date is September 11th and coupon payment dates are made quarterly. While the first offer is a 2-year FGN savings bond due on September 11, 2026 at an interest rate of 17.202% per annum, the second issuance is a 3-year savings bond maturing on September 11, 2026 at 18.202% per annum interest rate. TMO also said the bonds are listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited and qualify as a liquid asset for liquidity ratio calculation for banks. Federal Competition and Consumer Protection that it plans to regulate prices in the Nigerian market. He clarified that each recent directives are solely aimed at curbing exploitative practices and maintaining a competitive marketplace. A statement by its Director, Special Duties and Strategic Communication, Under J. Ijagu, said its role is low prices but to ensure the market subsidy have significant impacted pricing, justify unfair practices that exploit consumers. The Commission reassured the business community that its actions are not intended to suppress private enterprise but to protect consumers from harmful practices and does not seek to suppress private enterprises but to ensure that the market operates on principles of fair accountability. It also said on this oversight in the retail sector, the Commission remains committed to upholding the principles of fair competition and consumer protection, promoting vigilant enforcement of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018. Bainers Crutches lamented that the Nigerian Correctional Service staff has abandoned him on the instruction of the. The development comes after the embattled Bainers executive was arraigned on Tuesday at the Federal High Court, Abuja, while Mark Modi Stan had on August 28, 2024 filed for bail application for Gambayan. However, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Ekene Ihanacho countered Gambayan's bail application on the ground that he is not having a serious health challenge. Earlier in a statement, Gambayan's wife Yuki said the situation is entirely unjust for her husband, who was unlawfully detained by the Nigerian government after being invited under pretenses for a meeting in their country. EFCC chairman was one of the stakeholders that advocated for immediate reforms in Nigeria's oil and gas industry to address the interconnected of corruption and environmental degradation. The stakeholders disclosed this at the first International Anti-Corruption and Climate Change Conference in Abuja. In his address, the Executive Chairman of the Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyode, said the severe environment damage in the Niger Delta, including oil spills and pollution, is largely driven by corruption, not just natural causes, adding that transparency and accountability are essential in addressing this environmental and economic crisis, and called for strict adherence to laws and regulations to combat corruption in the oil industry. Also, the Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Ishaq Salako, underscored the critical importance of transparency and accountability in tackling climate change. Salako, represented by the Director of the Comprehensive All Sectors President, stated this in his reaction to the ongoing speculations that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has authorized hike in petrol. NLC, in a 5-point demand on Tuesday, said the various organs of the union participated in the recent protest. Other demands include the halt to the indiscriminate arrest and detention of citizens on trumped-up charges, reversal of the 250% tariff hike in electricity, as well as a stop to the hijack of the duties of the Ministry of Labour and Employment. The NLC also called for an end to the policies that engender hunger and insecurity, as well as a halt to government's culture of terror, fear and lying. Nigeria said the NLC is filled with a deep sense of betrayal as the federal government clandestinely increased the pump price of the premium motor spirit. According to him, one of the reasons for accepting 770 of PMS even knew that 70,000 naira was not sufficient. He recalled that when Labour told the government that its approach to resolving the fuel subsidy contradiction was was patently faulty and would not last. His front row cheerleaders sneered at them, saying they did not understand basic economics. He declared that instead of the promised reversal, the rate has since been up, further putting more Nigerians and businesses in jeopardy. The analysis said the combined effect of right-wing market policies brought Nigerians and Nigeria to their all-time low and led to the end hunger and bad governance. The Federal Federal Ministry of Power has declared this. He declared this in a statement issued by the media aide to the Department Bolaji Tunji, adding distributors should ensure the distribution of the generated energy. Reacting to this, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, distribution companies to take more energy to prevent grid collapse would be made to encourage industries to purchase bulk energy. However, a top official of one of the discos was quoted as saying that the power companies were finding it difficult to pick the extra energy produced by generation companies because they were not happy with the tariff on other bands apart from Band A. On Saturday, the ministry said power generation that meanwhile, the Tuesday statement from the power ministry stated that the federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Chinese company Mutual Commitment Company Limited to assemble electric tricycles and establish a renewable training center. The MOU signing ceremony, facilitated by the Rural Electrification Agency, was attended by Adelabu and the Managing Director of REA, Mr. Abba Aliyu. The event took place in Beijing on the eve of the opening ceremony of the African-China Cooperation Summit. Adelabu said the MOU event is important and will be a memorable day for Nigeria. He congratulated the REA for the event, saying it will aid in achieving Nigeria's vision for the renewable energy subsector of the entire electricity sector value chain. The minister said Tinubu has prioritized the power sector as a driver for all other critical sectors of the economy. Nigeria has called for a more robust partnership with the United Nations to achieve sustainable agricultural development and food security. This appeal was made in Abuja on Tuesday during the visit of the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Dr. Amina Mohammed to Nigeria, where she held discussions with key stakeholders in the agriculture sector. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, while welcoming Mohammed, highlighted the crucial role that the United Nations has played in Nigeria's development. He emphasized that given Nigeria's large population and the growing demand for food security, scored the alignment of the ministry's mandate with the key priorities of President Tinubu's 8-point agenda, which includes food security, economic growth, job creation, and poverty eradication. The minister also acknowledged the long-standing cooperation between Nigeria and various UN organizations, including the Food and Agriculture Organization, International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the United Nations Development Program. He said Nigeria's commitment to this partnership is further demonstrated through its financial contributions to these organizations. In particular, the ministry is seeking additional support for key programs aimed at increasing food production and improving the livelihoods of rural populations. He highlighted the importance of projects like the Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Project Niger Delta, which focuses on enhancing income, food security and job creation for rural youth and women through agribusiness development. The minister expressed optimism that the visit of the UN Deputy Secretary General would mark the beginning of a new chapter in the Nigerian-Union partnership on her part. Mohammed highlighted the critical situation facing the country, noting that the crisis in Nigeria is exacerbated by multiple factors, including domestic challenges and global disruptions. She pointed out that the UN is actively involved in planning efforts to address the needs of displaced populations, items, house rents, and public transportation. The Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy, a committee established by the federal government, has proposed the removal of taxes on essential goods and services, including food, public transportation, house rent, and other necessities critical to the well-being of citizens. The chairman of the committee, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this during an interview with newsmen on Tuesday. He explained that the proposal also includes the exemption of value-added tax on these essential items. According to Oyedele, the proposal is expected to be signed by President Bola Tinubu soon before being sent to the National Assembly for evaluation. Reacting to this, the national president of the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Dr. Femi Obeshola, described it as a big relief. The Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Shegun Ajayi Kadi, who is a member of policy, said the recommendations by the Taiwo Oyedele-led committee aim to for certain food imports. Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation has kicked off the disbursement of President Bola Tinubu's consumer credit scheme to economically active Nigerians nationwide through its participation fund, announced a partnership with Credit Director to boost mass access to consumer credit, stating that civil servants across the country are aiming to reach 500,000 nationwide. Waba disclosed that Credit Corp from September would offer discounted direct consumer credit to over 15,000 civil servants per round. Waba noted that the initiative is part of a much broader effort to support the well-being of Nigerians, which aligns with Credit Corp's mission to accelerate consumer credit access to 15% of economically active Nigerians by 2030. She noted that servants on IPPIS can now benefit from exclusive offers which reduce interest rates and flexible repayment plans for the purchase of domestic goods, mobility, medical care, and other household needs. On his part, the Chief Executive Officer of Credit Direct, Chukwuma Weze, emphasized the importance of partnership in fostering financial inclusion. We are open for advert placement, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us and watch us on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram. The index rose by 0.08% to close at 98,870.74, and the market capitalization rose to 55.65 trillion naira. Despite the positive investor sentiment, the market breadth closed negative as 29 equities gained and 30 equities saw a decline in their share prices. Investors traded 437 million shares valued at 10.41 billion naira in 12,532 deals, representing a 5% decline in volume, a 6% drop in turnover, and a 5% decrease in the number of deals compared to Monday's trading session. Leading the gainers chart were industrial and medical gases, CNI leasing, Guinea Republic, and Etana, which rose by 10%. On the flip side, RT Briso topped the losers list, dipping by a 10% drop to 2 naira 88 kobo per share. Abbey Montage Bank, Secure Electronic Technology, and McNicholas also lost 9.96%, 9.72%, and 9.68% respectively. In terms of trading volume, Access Holdings led the activity chart with 106 million shares traded, followed by Owando with 446.10 million shares, Prestige Assurance Company with 31.7 million shares, and United Bank for Africa with 20.2 million shares. The market's performance reflected cautious optimism among investors, with gains being tempered by profit-taking activities. Despite the mixed outcomes, the sustained bullish trend suggests continued investor confidence in the market. The market opened its first trading day of September with a 124 billion naira gain, as the all shares index appreciated by 0.22% to 96,793.95 points, and the market capitalization closed at 55.60 trillion naira. Naira on Tuesday traded at 1,640 naira following strong demand for dollars amid scarcity on the parallel market, popularly called the black market. This represents 44% loss year on year and a daily loss of 5 naira, which when compared to 918 naira and 1,635 naira quoted in September 1st, 2023 and on Monday, September 2nd, 2024, according to street traders and some online platforms that exchange rates at the unregulated market. After trading on Monday, the Naira gained 0.81% or 12.79 Naira as the dollar was quoted at 1,585.77 Naira compared to 1,598.58 Naira on Friday. At the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, data from the FMDQ Securities Exchange indicated the dollar supplied by willing buyers and willing sellers declined to lowest in 18 trading days. It dropped by 58.81% to $71.18 million on Monday from $172.18 million recorded on Friday at NAFEM. According to the market summary, the intraday high closed at 1,619 naira on Monday compared to 1,610 naira 50 kobo close on Friday, while the intraday low printed at 1,500 naira on the same day from 1,511 naira quoted on Friday. Last week, the naira depreciated by 1 naira 78% against the US dollar, ending at 1,598.56 naira per dollar at NAFEM window, as reported by Coronation Asset Management. This decline brought its year-to-date depreciation to 43.25%, up from 42.23% the previous week. In the parallel market, the naira also weakened by 1.22%, closing the week at 1,614 naira per dollar. Total inflows through the NAFEM window reached $403 million US, primarily driven by non-bank corporates and the exporter-importers window. However, these inflows were insufficient to counterbalance the high demand for US dollars, which continues to push the exchange rate downward. Additionally, the Central Bank of Nigeria reported a slight decline in gross foreign exchange reserves by 0.32% or $116.04 million, ending the week at $36.32 billion. This decline has been consistent over the past 4 weeks and is attributed to CBN's interventions in the foreign exchange market. Federal government will on or before Friday announce the result of the $500 billion domestic dollar bond recently offered to Nigerian public. On August 19, 2024, the federal government announced the offering of a $500 million domestic bond with a maturity of 5 years and a fixed coupon of 9.75% per annum. What this means is that the investors are lending money in dollars to the federal government for 5 years with a promise to receive 9.75% in interest every year. The offer closed on August 30, 2024, and the result is expected on Friday. Sharing his expectation with Business Day, Telewa Adebajo, Chief Executive Officer of the CFG Advisory, projected that the bond would be oversubscribed. Uche Walike, Professor of Capital Markets at the Nasarawa State University, said, "I think it will be oversubscribed given its attractive rate and the fact that the target was high net worth individuals and institutional investors." Ayokunle Olubumi, head of financial institutions rating at Ogosu Consulting, said, "I think it will be oversubscribed." According to Ayodeji Ebo, Managing Director of CBO Optimus by AfriVest, the investment was targeted towards the idle funds in domiciliary accounts, Nigerian savings abroad, the Nigerian diaspora, and qualified institutional investors. Wale Edu, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, said in August 15, 2024 that the domestic US dollar bond issuance will enhance foreign currency reserves, a move that aims to stabilize the exchange rate, manage inflation, and ultimately reduce interest rates. The bond comes with an annual interest rate of 95.75%, which is highly competitive in today's financial market. Investors who committed $10,000 would receive $975 annually in interest payments, distributed as $487.50 every 6 months. This semi-annual coupon payment structure ensures a steady income stream for bondholders. Analysts say the invested principal will be returned at maturity, ensuring the safety of the initial investment. Additionally, the bond enjoys tax exemption, making the interest income even more attractive, as investors can fully retain their earnings without deductions. According to the Debt Management Office, the federal government of Nigeria bonds continue to stand out as an attractive investment option for Nigerians, offering a unique blend of security and substantial returns. These bonds are partially appealing to investors seeking a risk-free investment vehicle with multiple benefits. Banks' credit to the private sector rose by 34% to 75.48 trillion naira in July from 56.46 trillion naira in the prior year. This is according to the latest data on credit to the private sector obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria. On a month-on-month basis, banks' credit to the private sector rose by about 2.29 trillion naira between June and July. CPS includes loans, trade credits, and other account receivables and support provided by banks to the private sector within the period. The CPS is a global measure of the banking sector's balance sheet, resilience, and contribution to the national economic agenda. According to experts, increased private sector credit implies a major boost for the economy as there is a link between credit to the private sector and economic growth. Analysts at Codros Capital projected that credit to the private sector may continue in the period ahead. Analysts, however, noted that the Apex Bank's intensified monetary policy tightening measures could impact the magnitude of growth going forward. A study established by CBN noted credit is growth enhancing even when trade, openness, monetary policy, investment climate, and infrastructure are low. The study found that private sector credit increases growth. The balance sheet strengthening of banks also determines the flow of credit, with this continuing increase in lending amidst macroeconomic headwinds underpinning Nigerian banks' resilience and stability. In a study on balance sheet strength and bank lending during the global financial crisis, researchers at the International Monetary Fund examined the role of bank balance sheet strength in the transmission of financial sector shocks to the real economy. The Chief Executive Officer of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Muda Yusuf, said the credit outlook remained cautious, calling for an expansive distribution of credit across all tiers of companies and sectors. According to Yusuf, there are major concerns in terms of the distribution of credits across sectors and companies, with small businesses, which contribute more to job creation and economic inclusion, not likely to benefit much. He noted that banks tend to be wary of credit risk concerns associated with lending to small businesses and certain sectors, adding that efforts should be made to drive inclusive and stable credit access to all sectors, including growth and employment in elastic sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, real estate, mining, and construction. Meanwhile, reports show that Nigerian banks had seen a significant increase in deposits during the first half of this year. You're watching ATM Business and Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.